What is up, everybody? TechChucker here, and today I've got a review for you of the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cartoon Dirtbag and GROUNDCHUCK 2-pack. Now, I happened to stumble across this at my local Target, so check out your Target if you are on the lookout for this. I scored it. I was super lucky. This was the last one, if there happened to be more than one, I guess. So I am super happy to have this thing in my collection, but is it worth getting? That is why you're here, I think. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and crack this thing open and take a closer look. Here they are out of the packaging, and I gotta say, just aesthetically, these things look amazing. I love the way that they came out. Now, I have to be completely honest, I don't remember these guys. I don't remember them from the show, but if you are interested in finding out their origin story, go on YouTube and search Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cartoon Planet of the Turtleoids. There's part 1 and part 2. This is their origin story. Just so you are aware, originally Shredder was going to mutate, I think, a lion and a gorilla. And what's the little turtle guy that we got with Gecko? Anyway, he swapped him out with a vole or a mole and this bull. So this is where GROUNDCHUCK and Dirtbag came from. Check it out on YouTube. It's actually kind of a good episode. So let's get into the sculpt work on these things because I think they did a great job. It seems to be pretty much a unique sculpt throughout. The paintwork looks awesome. I think they did a spectacular job on them. We've got a tail on GROUNDCHUCK, and I mean, there's just a detail sculpted in for the fur on Dirtbag. It's just so good looking. Everything's got paint on it. I mean, there's little details throughout, and every little detail is painted. This little outer vest-like thing that looks awesome. He's got some knuckle things that are painted as well. I think they did a great job. This backpack is actually a soft material, and it opens up, and there you can put stuff inside the backpack. How freaking awesome is that? That is so incredibly good. I can't gush enough about how well this is constructed. The only thing sculpt-wise that I wish that they would do is figure out a way to hide the pins on all of these. I mean, if NECA did that, that would be just so amazing to get rid of those pins. That's the last thing that I think they need, aside from the QC issues on all the loose joints. Holy crap, if they did that, that would be amazing. Let's do a quick measurement of these two. We can see that GROUNDCHUCK is coming in at about just under 6 inches tall, and Dirtbag is coming in, well, at the top of his head, it's about 6 1/4-ish, and at the top of the horns, getting closer to 7 inches. So pretty decent size, but certainly not the biggest that we've had. This is Kermit. I believe his name is Kermit. And this is the guy who is basically responsible for these two creatures becoming mutants. Let's throw in a couple more from the series. I can't find my Marvel Legends Deadpool anywhere, so we're not going to do a Marvel Legends comparison, but who really needs that anyway? Because I don't think there's any reason to have to compare and put those guys together. But here is some of the bigger guys. We've got, we've got people that won't stand. So they're definitely not the biggest that we've gotten, but they are pretty decent size. If you can see everybody in there, let's maybe put him behind so that you can get a better view of all of these guys together. So scale-wise, they scale perfectly. I just think that this looks so cool. The colors are awesome. So NECA, you did a great job. So the articulation is a little bit limited on these guys, especially in the head. There is what I believe to be a ball peg. It doesn't really move up much at all. It can move down just a little bit, so that's disappointing. He can look side to side, but that is also a little bit limited, and then there's not a whole lot of rotation or tilt, so that also disappointing. In the shoulders, and as usual, always hit this with some heat before you get going so that you're not breaking anything. He's got the standard ball hinge in the shoulder, but be careful because you do have this little pad. The shoulder pad is kind of rubberized, but just be careful. So he can get his arm out that far, which is nice. He can, boy, these are tight. He can rotate around. He has an upper bicep swivel. He's got double jointed elbows, but because of the girth of these, they're a little bit limited, and this one's a little bit stuck. Let's try this one on this side there. So that's pretty good. So I don't know what the deal is with this one. It's stuck. I need to hit it with more heat, I guess. Down in the torso, he has what looks to be a double ball peg. He can swivel around, which is great. He can crunch forward about that far. He can arch his back about that far. You can see up in there, but it's actually not too bad looking. So that's good. I think I already said rotating. And he's got some side to side, crunch. So that is pretty cool. Down in the hips, especially on this guy, the hips are very loose, so just be aware of that. It's a very typical, issue with NECA, but he can do the splits about that far. He can kick forward only about that far, not too great. He can kick back a pretty good amount. So this little skirt piece, that's kind of a softer plastic, kind of reminds me of He-Man. But this goes all the way back, which is awesome. There is an upper thigh swivel. That works pretty good. He's got double jointed knees. Just again, be careful, but not too bad a range, almost 90 degrees. And then he's got these hooves, which are interesting. They do swivel a little bit, so you can get him feet flat on the floor. He has a hinge in there, so he can get his foot back a little bit. It's okay. His knee keeps activating. And then he can get his foot forward a little bit. So not too bad for the articulation on this guy. Let's take a look at GROUNDCHUCK next. He also has basically the same head issue or neck articulation issue. He can't really look up much. He can look down, which is okay. He has side to side movement and a little bit of tilt. Now he has a mouth joint. He can open up his mouth, which is awesome. And I forgot to mention, DIRTBAG also can open his mouth, but that's a lot more limited. Can't get that to open it quite as much. Moving back to GROUNDCHUCK, he's got shoulder hinges. Can get his arm out about that far. He can swivel all the way around. There's nothing getting in the way there. He has an upper bicep swivel. This is pretty tight. He can bend his arms. They are double jointed. They keep tightening up on me. Let's try this one. I popped his hand out. Okay, so off camera I was able to get it to go. So that's actually pretty good range there. He has a wrist and hinge. That works good. I also forgot to mention, it's been a while since I've done a review. DIRTBAG also has hinges and a peg in those wrists. Jeez, you got to dust the rust off a little bit. Down in the torso, he's got kind of like a double ball peg, but it's pretty limited. He can kind of crunch forward if you get the shirt and his little belly to go over the belt. So he can crunch forward about that far. You can bring him back about that far. He can swivel a little bit, and he's got some tilt, so it's okay. Down in the hips, he's got T-jointed ball joints. He can go about that far. He can kick forward only about that far. Now this is softer, but it's not going to go all that far. He can kick his leg back about that far, which is pretty decent. And then there is a thigh swivel. Double jointed knees, not too bad. And then in the ankle, he's got that hinge. Goes pretty good back and forward, okay. He's got a hinge or a swivel. Same with on this side, just slightly different sculpt. And then he's got a tail with a ball joint, and it doesn't go that far, but still not too bad. So overall, articulation on these two guys, not too bad for them being kind of bigger. And last, they come with a bunch of really nice accessories. We'll start off with the extra hands. We'll move these guys out. So each of them comes with a total of 3 sets of hands, the ones that are on them in the packaging, and DIRTBAG comes with these Open hands, they're painted so nicely. I love the fact that the little spikes are painted 2 different colors, white and yellow, and then he comes with some gripping hands so that he can hold the accessories that he's got. And then we've got GROUNDCHUCK, who also comes with some open hands, nicely painted. I really like the color tones that they use on these, and some gripping hands, and then he's got the fist hands on him in the packaging. So next, the other accessories that Dirtbag comes with is this really cool looking handgun. It's got the horns, it's got the little ring in the nose, which is awesome, and then kind of like a rattlesnake tail on there, which is really cool. And then this little rubbery thing, and that actually is quite flexible, which is nice. So great job on that piece. And then he comes with this, which is some sort of controller. It almost, I was going to say it's a communicator, but I don't think so. So I'm not sure what this is, and I didn't have time to go look it up. So if you are interested, go look it up and see what that is. And then GROUNDCHUCK comes with a couple of really cool accessories. He comes with this hand drill, which is awesome looking. I love the paint. It's got some good weight to it. And then he also comes with this shovel, which also looks awesome. You know, it's pretty simple, but they still added some nice paint. They've got the red end, and they've got little black accents throughout, which is awesome. And then he also comes with this little handgun laser-like device, which is really nicely sculpted. Great paint. You've got some, you know, yellow there, and it's got a little outline in black. This triangle has an outline in black. It's got all the panel lining, which looks so cool. So great on that. And then lastly, GROUNDCHUCK also comes with this accessory, which is a pile of dirt that he can be crawling out of, which is just a fun little extra accessory that is going to just add to your display. So as far as accessories go, these guys, NECA did an amazing job. They really did a great job on them. Are they worth the $65.95 that they are going for in store? I have to say yes and no. If you are a die-hard Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collector, then they're a must-have. If you just, you know, aren't a huge fan, they're just kind of fun, probably not. For 65 bucks, probably not. But for the sole, you know, I guess, factor of how good they look and how nicely they were, you know, executed, then probably yes. So am I giving you a good answer as to whether or not they're worth it? Not really. I think they're worth it. I think it is a definite must-have. Are they as good as Bebop and Rocksteady in some senses? No, because of the character recognizability. I don't know that they ever would be, but still a great buy. So there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, hit that like button. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of these guys? Did you remember them from the show, or did you have to do what I did and look it up? If you did have to go look it up, go check out that episode that I talked about at the beginning. Leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all of that other stuff, and I will see you in the next video.